Oh, yeah, I know it's football Thursday. I know it's football Thursday, but guess what? Who gives a damn? Because did you see him? Did you see him? New York, stand up. New York, stand up. My Knicks showed up and showed out last night. Okay, yeah, Bollywood. That's what we do. That's what we do. And by the way, to top it all off, my man Jalen Rose is in the house to get the party started. First Take and the crew in the mix. Let's go, y'all. Let's go.
We are thrilled once again to bring you NBA basketball this season on ESPN.
This is back. Come on. Back on track. Back on beat. Back on road. Back on street. Yes, I'm back. Like I never left with another step and another breath.
The Hornets rally from a 23-point deficit.
His first 2 points of his NBA career.
Big victory for us and start the season on a good note.
You can run, but you can't hide. That's true. I got my eyes on what? On you.
Bang! Double overtime. Three-pointer. Bang! Fournier's got 32. The Knicks survive in double overtime.
Late nights, early mornings, they don't stop. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to First Take on this Friday Eve. Stephen A. Smith, Jalen Rose, Molly Karam Rose. Gentlemen.
Hold on.
Wait, I gotta hold on.
I never, ever said this in my life.
What?
I never said this in my life. What I'm about to say right now. It's the first, last, and only time I would say this.
What?
What up, though?
Yes.
What up, though?
Detroit is in the building.
The Lions are winless.
Yeah, I know.
They got a lot of fight, though, Jalen.
A lot of fight, though.
They do.
A lot of fight.
I like your coat.
Put up that fight.
Right?
Put up that fight.
Excuse me, time out, gentlemen. First countdown with the new crew, YouTube, Greeny, Wilbon. I watched it all. Very entertaining.
Well, thank you.
Very informative.
Thank you.
But I had a little FOMO, real quick before we get into this. How was the Garden? It felt like things are back to normal.
It was electric.
Good vibes?
It was electric.
He was excited.
That's right. It's
He was really excited.
It's a difference. It's a difference. It's a different
changed
flavor.
over the last few years now.
Right. I know.
You're excited about your Knicks.
I feel you. That's
I saw
what
you
I'm trying to say.
chanting.
That's right.
Over there, go New York. Go
No, I didn't do that. But I did say we here. That's what I did say.
All right.
That's right.
Let's do it. So after a crazy final 9 seconds of regulation, including the Celtics hitting 2 threes plus a pair of wild overtimes, the Knicks emerged victorious 138-134 in front of their home crowd. Clearly the Celtics' Jaylen Brown, who missed the end of last season in playoffs due to a left wrist injury that required surgery, he didn't skip a beat, fellas, dropping 46. On the Knicks side, last season's most improved player, Julius Randle, put up 35, and former Celtic Evan Fournier added 32. Here's Randle. Talk.
It looks like you guys we're just running on fumes. How tired are you right now?
I can't wait to go home and lay in the bed, I swear. I don't even know if I'm hungry enough to eat. I'm so tired to play. I don't know what I played, but first game back, goodness, I'm tired. But we got it done.
Okay. Jalen, let me ask you this, because I've got a list here of projected win totals this year, and it's got Miami, Atlanta, Boston. Don't look at me. Boston, Chicago, all ahead of New York.
Okay.
Is Stephen A. too hyped about his Knicks?
You want the good news or the bad news?
Just give it to me, man. Answer the question.
Do you want the good news or the bad news?
Take the bad news first.
Give me the bad news first.
Oh, you want the bad
Yeah.
news?
Give me the
bad news
The
first.
bad news is the Knicks aren't the best team in New York.
Well, I know that.
We know that.
I mean, I know that.
That team is in Brooklyn.
I know
right?
question. No question about
Okay.
Right.
More bad news, right?
More bad news.
Yes. Are they better than the Bucks?
No.
Okay. What about the Sixers?
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't know? Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris,
Right now they're a bit distracted.
Doc Harris?
Right now they're a bit
Doc Rivers
distracted.
was just on the show.
Right now they're a bit distracted right now. I mean,
Yeah?
there's some
Okay.
things going on
Okay.
there. I don't know.
Okay, what about the Atlanta Hawks?
Well,
And Trae Young?
I got to give props to Trae Young. He averaged 29 and 10 against them in the postseason. I mean, I get all of that. I could give you, you could tell me 5 teams. We ain't got to prolong it. 5 teams are better than the Knicks. Now, that don't mean that's going to be the case come May.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
So you're a basketball aficionado. I didn't even bring up the Bulls. What you think about their offseason?
You know what? I love DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine. Mm-hmm. Here's my question, and I'll defer to you later, which we can talk about. I got a question mark as to whether or not they can play together. Mm-hmm. I have no question about them individually as talent. I love Zach LaVine. Wish he was a Knick, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. But I got questions about them playing together. But I'll defer to you for that.
But here's the great news. The Knicks are relevant. We started the show in the Garden.
That's right.
Yeah.
You remember how much of a disaster they were a few years ago?
Yes.
That's a win.
Yes.
The only holdover in that front office is Scott Perry.
That's right.
My brother, Scott Perry.
That's right.
Detroit native.
Good peeps.
Okay, you bring in Leon Rose.
That's right.
Worldwide West.
That's right.
They have some credibility.
Keep preaching. Keep preaching.
They now have credibility.
Keep preaching.
I saw Spike Lee. I saw Tracy Morgan. Stephen A. was happy.
That's right.
He wore a great suit.
That's right.
He knew that it was prime time.
That's right.
The Knicks are relevant again.
Yes.
That's what made me feel good last night.
right. That's right.
I played against the Knicks. I played for the Knicks. I remember they went to the finals in '94. John Starks baseline left-hand dunk.
On Jordan and Grant. Yes.
Yeah, that's how Knicks fans remember it.
Right.
On Jordan, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not on Horace Grant. It's
That's right.
on
It was
Jordan,
really on
right?
Horace Grant.
Exactly.
Jordan was really on Horace Grant.
Absolutely.
All right.
And Patrick Ewing, the gooseneck, holding his hand up,
Okay.
beating y'all to the finals.
Okay, keep going.
Right? And then Springwell and Allen Houston and Larry Johnson.
Okay.
I was there, the 4-point play. Did you know I tipped the ball? When he threw the ball in from the sideline,
Okay.
and it went to LJ,
That's
and
right.
the Garden erupted.
That's right.
You guys have moments like that waiting to happen again. Last night was enthusiastic, double overtime, opening night.
Why do I
Derrick
feel like you
Rose with the
pacified
runner.
me, Jalen? Why do I feel like you
want
pacified me?
feel
Okay, that's
enthusiastic
not
about
enough,
the
though.
Knicks. They're relevant.
That's not enough. They're relevant. Are they getting out of the first round?
Possibly, depending on their matchup.
Okay. Okay.
Possibly, depending on their
Okay,
matchup.
okay.
Because, for example, like if we were going to line up all of the players last night and pick a team, we would take Tatum and Brown before any
Right.
New York Knicks. But the Knicks are deeper. And Julius Randle, the most improved player, 35 points or so, shooting a three-pointer. R.J. Barrett has
Okay.
improved. Like, the Knicks are really good. They
Okay.
could win a first-round matchup.
Okay, I feel you on that.
Potentially, depending on who they
I
play.
appreciate the expertise.
Congratulations.
I appreciate the expertise, but I feel, number one, he's pacified me, okay?
No, it's the truth.
And number two,
It's the truth.
I don't feel that you're giving enough praise. So let me do it for you. Let me tell y'all something right now. Okay? And this is just a sign of things to come, because I can tell, you can tell from last night, Jalen and I are going to be getting into it a lot on NBA Countdown this year. A whole lot. Here's the deal. Did you see those New York Knicks last night? Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something right now. Listen, before I even get into the Knicks, let me give my brother Jaylen Brown major love. Major love.
Sure.
This brother, straight off of COVID, mind you, comes to the Garden, drops 46. Would have had 50 if he wasn't so tired. It was double overtime. He was exhausted. But this brother was something special. Jason Tatum, listen, don't get caught up in the 7 for 30 shooting performance. That is an aberration. 2 of 15 from three-point range. That's not Tatum. He just had a bad shooting night, okay? Those brothers are going to handle their business in Boston to some degree anyway. Need help, but they're going to handle their business. And I love me some Marcus Smart as well. But let me get to my New York Knicks, please. Let me tell y'all something right now. Julius Randle, very proud, playing like a man, reminding everybody why he was the NBA's most improved player. Drops 35, 9, and 8. Was giving out assists. Fournier, this ain't Reggie Bullock. No disrespect to Reggie Bullock, who can shoot, but is a spot-up shooter. Fournier could ball.
And he clutch.
Fournier ball. And he's clutch, and the stroke is sweet. Lord have mercy. I'm watching the ball fake, step to the left. Yang. I mean, I was loving that right there. Of course, R.J. Barrett. He's improved his three-point shot. Worked on that in the offseason. I saw elements of that last night. Mitchell Robinson, what did I tell you during Countdown? I said the big body, 7'1", rim protector, rebounder. He's in the mix. We knew they were going to amp things up defensively. Now, I did not like Kemba Walker turning the ball over not once but twice, because had he done that, the New York Knicks would have closed the deal in regulation. But it happens. We know Kemba Walker's better than that, and he'll be all right. Derrick Rose coming off the bench, doing what he did. I'm looking at the New York Knicks right now. And I'm here to tell you something, okay? With Tom Thibodeau,
this is what I want to hear.
They getting out of the first round. They getting out of the first round. They going to the semifinals. The New York Knicks, New York stand up. They are going to the Eastern Conference semifinals. You crawl before you walk. Last year, you got to the first round. You got smoked the 5 by Atlanta.
This is so cute.
This year, you get out of the first round. You go to the second round. I'm just telling you right now. Listen, I ain't going to touch Milwaukee. I ain't going to touch Milwaukee and Brooklyn.
Okay.
But anybody else is primed to be upset. That's
What
all I'm
about the
saying.
Miami Heat?
I just said primed to be upset.
Are the Miami Heat primed to be upset by the Knicks?
The only team, I'm not guaranteeing it, but the only team, because they might not face Miami,
Okay.
the only team in the Eastern Conference that are safe from the New York Knicks is the Milwaukee Bucks and the Brooklyn Nets.
Okay, I'm enjoying this.
Anybody else can get half.
I'm enjoying this love fest for the Knicks, and it's very cute to see how excited you are. It makes me happy. When you both are happy, I'm a happy woman. But what are our concerns with the Knicks, Jalen?
The rest of the great teams in the Eastern Conference.
That's fair.
He mentioned them.
That's right.
The Nets. I believe at some point, maybe during the holiday season, Kyrie Irving is going to decide to get vaccinated. I don't know this. It's just what I hope happens, right?
Okay.
And then they'll have a big three with Brooklyn. Can we talk a little bit about the Bucks? Because we haven't talked a lot about Giannis. Let me bring up Giannis.
He's unbelievable.
They're my choice, with or without Kyrie. I'm going to just say this now. To win the East.
With Kyrie?
Correct. To win the East.
Don't interrupt this
Yes,
man.
yes.
Pause on that.
Yes.
With Kyrie Irving and Harden and KD,
Correct.
you picking Milwaukee.
And I'm going to tell you why. Yes, sir. I respect the young fella Claxton that they have on the interior. He scored double figures. He's a rim protector. He's a shot blocker. He's got to get a little bit stronger. He's not going to be a physical presence when they go against guys like Embiid and Giannis and Lopez, right? Also, a team like the Brooklyn, Milwaukee has my guy Chris Middleton, right? You saw him emerge last year, become a second best player on the championship team.
Right.
Drew Holiday is going to get healthy.
Right. Don't
Sleep on the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis's confidence and his improvement. You see him pull up yesterday from three?
Can I respond to that?
You see him pulling up from three? You see him making his free throws?
I've seen
You see him
him.
big time blocks? I got one more thing I want to take.
Go ahead.
The other bigs on the interior for the Nets. Let me introduce you to.
Yeah.
If this was 5 or 7 years ago, no disrespect to these seasoned
Blake
vets.
Griffin,
They have
LaMarcus
Blake
Aldridge.
Griffin,
Yeah.
LaMarcus Aldridge, who
Yeah.
was just retired,
Yeah.
and Paul Millsap.
I feel you on that.
That's who they have
Yeah.
Right.
on the interior. I'm just saying, respect the fact that Giannis is going to be dominant.
Okay, well, let me retort. Number one, I ain't taking nothing away. And I'll give Giannis the ultimate praise in saying this. Kobe, and I said this yesterday on the show, Kobe smiling down on that, bro. And I'm going to tell you why. Because he personifies everything you want to see in a champion. He don't run from the naysayers. He doesn't run from the criticism. He embraces it, accepts the challenge, and overcomes. And then you saw him on opening night. He was emotional, got the ring, whatever. And then immediately all of that changed. This is done and over with. I got another championship to chase. The focus, the mindset, it's what we love about basketball when we see champions acting that way. Giannis personifies that. Mad love and respect to him. And I think that Milwaukee is obviously one of the top 4 teams in the NBA. There's no question. I'm not throwing no shade. But let me be very, very clear with Jalen Rose and I are on opposite ends of the ocean with this.
Yeah, I slept on this one.
So let me tell you something right now.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something right now. The Brooklyn Nets with those 3, ain't nobody beating them. Nobody. They winning the chip. And I went as far as to say, and I know you're going to hold me accountable.
October 21st.
With KD, Harden, and Kyrie healthy, if they're together, ain't nobody beating them. Nobody. That's number one. Number 2, even without Kyrie, I believe they would beat Milwaukee. I really do.
See, that's where you disrespect Giannis in the Bucks. So whoa.
You 6'8", man. Sit down, bro. You 6'8". Sit down.
So let me get this right. If Kyrie Irving does not return,
that's right.
You're saying the Nets will eliminate the Bucks from the playoffs?
I believe if KD and James Harden are completely healthy and play the season together, they will beat Milwaukee.
See, that's why I want to just heap praise on the Bucks, because people continue to underestimate the greatness that is Giannis.
I'm not underestimating.
He's making his free throws now. He's making dribble up threes now.
When I said this yesterday, you know what your immediate response was? I would never, ever, ever disrespect the greatness of KD and James Harden.
Correct. I want to go there as well.
I can't sit up here and say I would never disrespect the greatness of Giannis.
No question.
I'm saying to you, KD is that great.
Okay.
He is.
And Harden is too.
Show one, gentlemen. Show one on First Take. Show one on Countdown. A lot of hot takes are happening. We're going to save
my choice
this.
for MVP.
You and I are going. We going to have this discussion all year.
Can we get to the West? We get the final word. Let's get to the West.
Hey, you need to tell James Harden where he need to go at night. He was a little pedestrian. He was walking through his cuts and stuff the other night. He did a good crossover and finished at the hoop, but you got to You know,
It's
in
game one.
Houston,
It's 81 to go.
In Houston,
It's
he
81
knew
to
where
go.
to hang out at.
I know that he's got to work on that, but
Okay.
it's 81 games.
Okay,
It's
got
81
it.
games.
Got it.
Okay.
And it is 81, and Kobe smiling down
That's
on me
right.
as well.
That's right.
Let's get to the nightcap, where
Rest in peace,
the
Black
Nuggets
Mamba.
came back
Rest
from
in
16
peace.
points down to defeat the Suns 110-98. Denver has the best winning percentage when trailing by 15 points over the last 3 seasons. The reigning MVP, Nikola Jokic, was locked in from the jump, picking up his 41st 25-point and 10-rebound game over the last 3 seasons, the third most in the NBA, trailing only Joel Embiid and Giannis. Meanwhile, Chris Paul had 15 points and a game-high 10 assists for the Suns, who were outshot 53% to 41%. Stephen A. Smith.
Yes.
Are you concerned Phoenix won't get back to the Western Conference Finals?
Yes, because I don't think they will. Listen, I respect the greatness of CP3. I think CP3 is one of the top 5, top 6 point guards of all time. Surefire first ballot future Hall of Famer. Wherever he goes, teams get better. And he's a quintessential leader. And I love me some Devin Booker as well. I got to tell you something, Jalen. I like the young talent on the Phoenix Suns. I really, really do. I mean, I like Bridges. I get all that. Cameron Johnson is still there. Landry Shamet, I like that pickup. I think that's something that's a plus for them as well. Cameron Payne as well. I will tell you this. There's certain teams that you look at, and you know this, where you feel like that was their moment. And if you miss it, you miss it. There are other teams that you say they'll be back, but there's certain teams like that's their moment. I believe in Monty Williams, James Jones, an executive. I'm so proud of him.
Me too.
Okay, here's my deal. You didn't reach a contract extension agreement with DeAndre Ayton. Yeah, that's not, people acting like that's not a big deal, but it is. Because I got to rely on your head being in the right place all season long.
I feel better when I get my money.
Right. You feel better when you get your money. You feel appreciated. You feel validated and appreciated. That's a problem number 1. Problem number 2, Lakers are healthier. Golden State's expected to be healthier. Jamal Murray eventually will be back. He's going to be healthier with Jokic, and Porter has ascended. Utah can't be dismissed. And Kawhi is coming back. I look at all of those things because if Kawhi hadn't gone down, listen, in 2 instances, we looked at Phoenix. Last year, we said if the Lakers were healthy, they probably would have won in the first round against Phoenix. And if Kawhi was healthy, they probably would have won in the conference finals against Phoenix. So you got 2 teams that's expected to be there with the others that I mentioned. I think it's too much. And as a result, will Phoenix make the playoffs? Yes. Will they be a bona fide team, that's formidable? Yes. But do I see conference finals? No, I don't.
Not conference finals either.
Not conference finals.
I agree with that. I have to agree with that. I was thinking NBA finals, and then when you said conference finals, you made me take it a step further.
Yeah.
And as you acknowledged, injury is going to play a huge part.
Right.
What's going to happen with Jamal Murray with the Denver Nuggets? What's going to happen with Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers? What's going to happen with Klay Thompson in the Golden State Warriors? And I know how much you're excited about watching
That's right.
the Golden State Warriors. And I think Jordan Poole has a real good chance to be most improved player.
That's right.
But I do think that was Phoenix's opportunity. I really do. And I think the Utah Jazz are actually going to be the team that can have an opportunity to ascend behind the Lakers. I feel like the Lakers are clear-cut the best team, not only in the Western Conference, and I'm going to make sure I say this out loud, in the entire NBA.
No concerns after what you saw?
I got to be in the final.
Yes.
I got to be in the final.
Yes. No, I have no concerns about the Los Angeles Lakers once they get all of their parts back healthy. And so based on that dynamic, I agree with you. The Phoenix Suns won't likely be in the Western Conference Finals or the NBA Finals. But this is also what I'm going to need. It's going to be a couple of players that's going to really sway like what happens in both conferences that we didn't necessarily mention.
Cool.
And it's going to be based on their performance. James Harden, as I mentioned, he got to get going.
I agree.
Devin Booker, he going to have to get going.
I believe in him. I believe in him.
I'm just saying.
believe in Booker.
But he's going to have to be all NBA book in the regular season and in the postseason. And the other one is Anthony Davis. We keep saying the Lakers are the best team, but he had career lows in a few categories last year.
Let me throw this by you. Let me ask you a question.
Played.
Let me ask you a question. I'm not going to debate it. I'm going to ask you a question. I'm curious. I know you got limited time here. I'm curious to what your thoughts about that. You can be all NBA, all world, and still not be enough because others are too. You see what I'm saying? Like, I expect Anthony Davis to have a big-time year and remind us, this brother one of the top 5, top 7 players in the world. I expect Devin Booker to ascend even more because I think last season's going to help him.
I do too.
I'm saying that still ain't going to be enough because of how loaded cats are. I believe the Lakers are my favorites. It wouldn't surprise. I've said it to you for months.
Yeah.
Golden State with Klay Thompson back in the lineup going to the conference finals. And Golden State is the one team I've been talking Lakers, Brooklyn, you throw in Milwaukee. Golden State is the one team with a healthy Klay Thompson, a healthy Wiseman, with a healthy Steph and Draymond, and now Poole. I'd pick, they could win it all. They could win it all if they're healthy. All of it. They'll smoke anybody when healthy. I really believe in the Warriors like that.
I ain't mad at that. And Steph, when I was watching LeBron and Steph the other night, I was thinking, like, these are the 2 marquee players in the league.
Yeah.
And Steph was injured, and he came back, and the Warriors weren't like the contending team that made the playoffs last year. And shout to John Morant in Memphis for knocking them out for that final spot.
That's right.
But you're on to something. Steph had a triple-double.
In a bad game.
And they
he
had
called
like
the trash.
6 players in double figures.
That's right.
And Draymond Green is still playing all NBA defense. So
No one's
there's
gonna
a
want
reason
more
why
than Klay
people invest
Thompson
in Golden
missing
State
2
Warriors.
seasons.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I can't sleep on them.
Yeah, they
People
built
sleep
out
on
that
them.
roster.
And by the way, keep in mind, remember I said this. Everybody is very boring to everybody. Free throws. LeBron, Westbrook. See, Golden State with Klay and Steph.
I got to ask you, what you think about Westbrook? What you think about Westbrook early in the season?
I think Westbrook's going to be fine. I believe in the brother. I'm just saying he has to be effective going to the basket and pushing pace. You can't rely on him to hit perimeter shots. If that's going to be your definition for success for the Lakers, that's when it falls around.
All right, we got to get into commercial break. Jalen, this was fun. Great to have you back on
Thanks a
First
lot.
Take.
The double
Appreciate
breakfast,
Jalen and
too.
Jacoby,
Yes,
4
indeed.
Eastern today.
Yes,
Great
indeed.
job last night.
Thanks a lot.
He even had some new lapel jewelry for First
I
Take.
mean,
I like that. I see it.
I'm not
He
mad.
saved
I'm
it
not
for us.
mad.
This is prime real estate.
I'm not
I
mad.
have to come correct.
I'm not
Yes,
mad.
coming
I don't
in.
dress like this on Jalen and Jacoby.
I feel you in the I know. I know.
Still to come on First Take, the Sixers laid the smackdown on the Pelicans last night. Should that statement win confirm the Simmons era in Philly is all over? Plus, in just a bit, Dan Orlovsky joins the show. Are the Browns the biggest disappointment in the NFL this season? Or maybe it's your Steelers?
I can't wait for Dan Orlovsky.
Well, he said they was going to the Super Bowl.
Oh, Jay Will, you coming?
Do we leave the show with the
You come in here with respect. You come in here with respect.
we have more excitement.
Speak with respect about the Knicks.
Look at his intentions of leaving Philly beyond clear. From holding out of training camp, refusing to participate in drills leading to a 1-game suspension, and now listing his New Jersey mansion on numerous public real estate websites. As for his teammates, they gathered for a team dinner after flying to New Orleans. And after getting their minds off basketball for a few hours, it was all business, blowing out New Orleans Pelicans 117-97. Doc Rivers said Simmons is supposed to practice with the team today and prepare for Friday's game when they host the Nets. Jay Williams in the building. Thank you for staying with us. I know you already did 4 hours of TV. We appreciate you.
love.
Definitely.
Okay, Jay. Should Philly want Simmons back? Should he play for, talk to me.
No. I said it yesterday. They should pay this man to go away. And this is where I think it's starting to become embarrassing for the Philadelphia 76ers if they try to force Ben Simmons to play on a nationally televised game against the Brooklyn Nets, because this is all about ego to me. This is all about them trying to publicly ridicule and subject Ben Simmons to the hate that will come from every Philadelphia fan. So instead of paying him to say, you know what, we don't want this drama. We want this team to focus on some more team outings. Joel Embiid not playing video games in his hotel room after every road trip, actually becoming a leader of men. Instead of us focusing on basketball, which Doc Rivers says, hey, when Ben's not around, we focus on basketball. You're telling me that somebody personally in there has a vendetta, that they want to prove that they can win this battle against Ben, that they're willing to go to the point by saying, you know what, it's worth all the distractions, it's worth all the anger, because we want to see him inflicted with pain. This is about putting pain on Ben Simmons. It no longer feels about doing what's in the best interest of the organization, because nobody in their right frame of mind thinks that Ben Simmons is going to come back and ball out. He's told them 5.5, 6 months ago he was mentally checked out. He told them that.
Yeah.
So why are we expecting different results? You're just going to cause him pain. That's what it is. Just be real about it, Philly.
You're not entirely accurate. In certain respects, I get where you're coming from because it can come across as a bit petty. And I understand Philadelphia's hands are not clean here. 76ers' hands are not clean. Ben Simmons' hands damn sure ain't clean. Rich Paul's hands are not clean. Everybody done messed up here. We done messed up, okay? But understand something, and this is where I jump off the wagon with you. Ben Simmons was so bad in the postseason that the Philadelphia 76ers were of the mindset that the opposing teams were trying to get 20 cents on the dollar. That's where they came from. They're the ones that came up with that line, 20 cents on the dollar, 20 cents on the dollar. Because anybody who spoke to them, anybody from in the organization, Elton Brand, Doc Rivers, Daryl Morey, Doc Rivers when he was on here, players said 20 cents on the dollar, 20 cents on the dollar. They kept saying that. What that says to me, Jay, which you know, is that they did call and they did try to oblige. What they didn't want to do was get hosed just because Ben Simmons wants out. Now, if you have been there for years and you've got 1 year left on your deal like James Harden or Anthony Davis, and you decide you want out, that's different. This brother just signed his extension 1 year ago. So whatever issues you had, even though you're saying you had these issues for some time, it didn't stop you from signing to get your dollars. You got 4 years, $147 million. And you saying 1 year in, I want out. And you're asking them to get 20 cents on the dollar. They're saying to that, hell no. What you did was turn around and you decided to be defiant. And not only that, come across, I know he didn't mean to because he certainly wasn't pointing the finger at Philadelphia fans, but that's how it came across to the point where a city is like, you have the audacity, the unmitigated goal of blame us. We supported you all of these years when we knew your behind couldn't shoot. Not just perimeter shots, but free throws. But we never thought it would get as bad as it did against Atlanta when you shooting worse than Shaq and Wilt Chamberlain combined ever shot from the free throw line. That's how bad he was from the free throw line. So instead of adopting the attitude, I'm going to come back and make amends and show out, you turned against us. That's how Philly is looking at him, which is why I feel bad for him if he show up tomorrow night, because they are going, oh my God, how
Destroy
bad.
him.
It will never be as bad as it's going to be for him tomorrow night. Having
They
said all
booed
of
him
that,
at the Flyers game.
yes,
Right.
having said all of that,
Does that,
My point.
I mean,
Yes.
come on.
here's where it gets tricky, though. With that being said, Jay, what we can't escape is this reality. Again, you got the 4 years. If he were to come back, what they're saying to him is that we're trying to oblige you, but help us out by showing what you can do to elevate your value so we can remind some teams around the league for a few games what you bring to the table and we can get some equitable compensation. And I don't think that's a crime.
But Stephen,
I don't.
I've already told you where I'm at psychologically. I've told you, you've came out to my house. You sat down with me, Doc Rivers, Daryl Morey, and I told you I do not want to be here.
Right.
I just got kicked out of practice. I'm seeing highlight videos.
Why did he get kicked out of
Because
practice?
he was defiant.
He was defiant.
But he's told them he's not there. He's already checked out. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You're going to have him come back and play. And I can make a case that him not playing could help his trade value more so than him actually playing.
I didn't know you back then. But when I talk to Jay Williams, what I constantly remind people is it ain't just my partner on television who does a great job on radio. I'm talking to a former number 2 overall pick who was the national player of the year and a national champion who knows a thing or two about competing on a basketball level.
Yeah.
I also know your personality enough to know that even though I didn't know you back then, there was probably some people you didn't like when you were playing at Duke.
1,000% in the league, yes.
There's probably some people you didn't like. Didn't stop you. What I'm saying to you is this. Just because you don't like somebody and you've checked out mentally, you can still be so gifted that with an attitude, truculent or acerbic as it may be, you might still be able to say, you know what? I'm going to go out there and I'm going to bust their ass for about 2 weeks.
That's who I am.
I know he's not.
I am.
No, I'm just saying.
Ben Simmons is not Kobe Bryant.
But
we don't know.
Yes.
But we don't know because we haven't seen him play under those situations. We haven't seen him play. Neither have the Sixers. That's the key. Now, if he went out there for 2 games and just wet the bed and stuck up the joint and the pressure was too much, that's different. But it's entirely possible that the Sixers are thinking he can't stand us. He might want out, but he might go out there and bust some people's butt for about a week or two and then quit. But at least he spent that week or two busting people butt to remind the league of whatever commodity we have, and you need to give us more than 20 cents on the dollar. That's not bad. That's not a bad proposition. That's what I'm saying.
Let me break down two things. Number one, I am not Ben Simmons.
I know
Ben
that.
Simmons is not me.
I know that.
So I know what my ass would do.
Right.
I know who I am.
Right.
Like, I'm the same person that was told I would never be able to walk again, and I'm walking, I'm running, I still walk with a limp, and I don't give a damn. I am built like that.
That's right.
My history has allowed me to be built like that. I'm not sure Ben Simmons playing basketball coming from Australia with the way he's been coddled by this franchise and himself is built that way. Now, that doesn't mean he can't be extremely successful on an NBA franchise if he has other dogs around him.
That's true.
I'm just saying this man has told you who he is. But people may not like it. I know you don't like it because I know you're built. I know how you walk. I see how you walk into the damn studio every day. Right. You walking in here like Michael Jordan walking into Game 6. Right? That's not who he is, Stephen A.
Right.
You have to accept that's who he is.
I do accept it, but what I'm saying to you is this. If I'm asking him to stay a 76er for the season, I get you. If I sit up there and I say, Jay, I need you to go out, listen to me. I need you to go out here for 2 weeks and show out, and I'll get you out of here. I just don't want to get robbed. If Ben Simmons wants to get out there bad enough, guess what? You might be able to pull that off. You might.
But maybe I want you to get robbed.
Right. Now, that's a different animal.
Like, if you're going to force me to play in front of all these people and get booed,
then you know what I would do? Then if that's the case, if what you're saying is his mentality, then what I would say to you is, I hear where you're coming from. I'd make him sit down for the year and wait for Harden to say, well, you know what? I'm not going to sign this extension with Brooklyn. And I'll do it that way.
Okay.
That's what I would do.
We got to go real quick. Give me a percentage that he plays Friday.
30%.
0.
Okay.
He ain't playing.
Still to come, a star is born. LaMelo Ball showed up and showed out last night. Did his highlights on the court, matches fit off the court. Stay tuned and you'll see what I mean. Plus, another roster based on talent, right? First of all, good to see you. Hi, Dan.
Yeah,
Good morning.
Good to see you. It's very good to see you, man. How you doing, man?
I'm glad some of us dressed like an adult today, Stephen A.
Well, first of all, watch your mouth. First of all, watch your mouth. I don't have on a tie, but I do have on a blazer and a collared shirt, number one. And number two, I need you to take the left part of your collar and I need you to stick it under your jacket. Okay, under your jacket. Don't have your collar sticking out of the jacket. Make sure it's under the jacket. There you go.
Maybe not an adult, like a teen. I look like a teen.
All right, guys. Are the Browns, Dan, I'm starting with you. Are the Browns the biggest disappointment this season?
Absolutely, because disappointment comes from expectations. And the expectation for this football team 7 weeks ago, certainly for me, was go win this division. This was the best team roster-wise in the AFC North. Go win this division and show me that you are going to be the team that dethrones the Kansas City Chiefs. Because going into the season, I had said, well, the Chiefs are still the champs, and at least in their conference, and the Buffalo Bills are the team that is most equipped to go knock them off. And then I thought the Browns were right there. And this is a 3-3 team right now with a 6-0 roster. Like I said, this is draft picks on this defense in the secondary in the last 2 years. This defense has got 47 hung on them, 37 hung on them, and 33 hung on them. This was a defense that was a weakness last year that was supposed to be made into a strength this offseason. The expectations for this football team were Super Bowl contender. Now, I'm not jumping off the bandwagon. Let me make myself clear. I've rocked with Baker. I believe in the Browns. I love their coach. I still do. But the reality is, as we sit here today, this team is the most disappointing team in the NFL, given what the expectations were coming into this season.
Oh, please. I mean, you're so emotional right now. I can't believe I'm telling you that you're so emotional. But you truly, truly are. I don't know about everybody else, but who was questioning the Cleveland Browns? That would be me. I was never sold on them.
I will give you that.
I was never sold on them. Thank you very much, Molly. I was never sold on the Cleveland Browns, Dan Orlovsky. You know who everybody else was talking about? Because when we looked at Cleveland, we said, okay, Pittsburgh might have some trouble, but the Baltimore Ravens were going to be there. We knew that, right? We could look at Kansas City. We didn't expect them to be 3-3, but they are 3-3 right now. They're a 500 team, and they're the reigning AFC champions, and their defense is trash, at least thus far, even though I got faith in the Honey Badger. But the bottom line is they need to do some work there. I'm going to bring up a team that I can't believe you missed. We were talking about the AFC East we didn't even talk about New England. We said Buffalo and Miami.
Yeah.
Miami's 1-5, bro.
Yeah.
They've lost 5 straight. They look like they have nothing. And now not only that, there's news circulating that they may try to acquire Deshaun Watson from Houston this week.
Okay.
So when you look at them, we got an organization led by Brian Flores, who we've been very, very high on. Chris Greer, an African-American, being a GM. You know I'm proud of him. And we had there were big expectations. Their defense was supposed to be all that. We were looking at the Miami Dolphins, and we were saying they were the team that was going to compete with the Buffalo Bills for AFC East supremacy. They are 1-5. They are one of the worst football teams in the National Football League. Their quarterback, it seems like they're pretty much already given up on Tua Tagovailoa. I'm like, when I think disappointment, Miami comes to my mind.
First of all, Stephen A., I watched yesterday. I watched your show yesterday and how you started. Don't call me emotional when I watched you talk about the Lakers after week 1, thinking, oh my gosh, I got concerns about the Lakers, okay? I am not being emotional about the Browns. Now, again, my expectations were the Dolphins were to contend for a playoff team. I thought they would contend. Right. My expectations for the Browns were you can get to the AFC Championship game. Again, look at the roster makeup. The fact that the Dolphins have still a very young offensive line. The Browns got the best offensive line in football. The Dolphins have a young but emerging skill group. I think the Browns have one of the better skill groups in football. They got the best tailback tandem in football.
Well,
so the expectations for the Browns were to be stinking awesome.
But let me come to you with this. You have expectations of them going to the AFC Championship game. I'm saying as we sit here today, that's still possible. We had expectations of the Miami Dolphins competing for the AFC East and going to the playoffs. Their season is already over.
Right.
You see the extreme?
In
other words, there's still a chance to hold on to Cleveland. We looking at Miami and it's like, it's wholesale changes that are imminent. They're not going anywhere.
They also had to play 3+ games without their quarterback, Miami.
Okay, I got you.
Cleveland has had Baker Mayfield basically every snap this season. So that's got to factor into this conversation as well. I'm not saying that
Jarvis
Miami
Landry or Odell Beckham Jr. for the most part. Back and forth, both were missing.
I'm not saying Miami's not disappointing. There are other disappointing teams in the NFL. But the most disappointing, given where we are 6 weeks into this season, with what the expectations were 6 or 7 weeks ago, is the runaway the Cleveland Browns. Again, this was a team that we were in. You didn't have high expectations for the Browns this year?
No, that's what you're not listening to.
Well,
listen, you are the guy. Listen. You're incredibly brilliant on the game of football. That's, part of the way I get my knowledge from watching you and just knowing how to disagree with you because, my goodness, I just don't buy what you're selling sometimes. But I know you know what the hell you're talking about. But the thing about it, Dan Orlovsky, I've discovered something about him, Molly.
What?
Dan's a bit, dare I say biased? Dare I say a bit soft when it comes to judging certain quarterbacks? He is very much inclined to give dudes the benefit of the doubt. And that's what he was doing about Baker Mayfield. I haven't been sold. I've never been sold because I knew what he was going against in the AFC.
Dan, do you have a soft spot towards quarterbacks?
Yes, he does. He does have a soft spot for quarterbacks.
Because we don't know what it's like.
Does.
Could you please answer that?
All right, first of all, I am not soft, Stephen A.
Second of all, soft spot. Come on, that's what I'm talking about.
No, because I live in a world where everyone thinks quarterbacks are great or they suck. And there's no gray area in between. Part of my job is to make sure that people understand quarterback is a dependent position. And there are varying levels of quarterbacks. Some guys are incredible. Some guys are really good. Some guys are okay. And so, that's part of my job is try to get people to understand it's not black or white.
It's part of your job to quote people accurately because I never said that Baker Mayfield stunk. What I said was he's exactly that, middle of the road. And when you look at Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, and Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert and the crew, even Joe Burrow. I said there's too many quarterbacks in the same conference that are better than him to be elevating Cleveland to that stratosphere. And you didn't listen. And you know better.
I'm not disagreeing with you what he is as a player, but you're crazy to think that the team, the NFL roster that has the most expensive offense, one of the most expensive defensive linemen, one of the most expensive secondary players, and 4 top 2 round draft picks in the last 2 NFL drafts, to not have high expectations of them strictly because you think their quarterback is good, not great, is ridiculous. This team's that's ridiculous.
How you gonna say it's ridiculous when I'm sitting here right and you're wrong?
Dan,
I told you what
Dan,
Cleveland was gonna be,
okay,
and I'm right
quick,
now. You're the one that's ridiculous.
Real quick, we got to get a commercial break. Dan, no Nick Chubb, no Kareem Hunt tonight. Can the Browns win with Case Keenum?
Absolutely. This game's got to be about the Browns tight ends. Jadeveon Clowney, Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward. You want the big money? You got to show up. You got to show up, defense.
He's right about that. He's right about that. By the way, did you see Dan put up his 4 fingers, Molly?
No.
His nails look longer than yours. Is that me? Is that? Oh, just check. I'm just checking.
I think it's the screen.
I think it's the
I
screen.
think it's but I kind of see what you saw. It looks like he had like Halloween
it looked like he had
pointers.
long nails.
It was just a shadow.
It scared me.
Yeah, they do. Why do they look so like
Yeah,
weird?
I know. I'm just checking.
I don't know.
Checking. All right.
Oh, it's a green screen. That's
I'm just
why.
checking. I'm just
Okay. So the come on first take. It did look very Halloweenish. Why do you observe everything? You were raised by women. He has problems. Okay, we're gonna get back to your Knicks, the countdown crew. You guys got to see this in person. Are they a legit threat?
I just want to say that they could show that I lost some weight. I mean, damn. I'm just saying.
Don't you
be insecure.
Don't you have the ability to change the photo if you want it?
I never thought about it. That's a good point. That's a good, I'm gonna take
First of all, of course he has the
Thank you.
Like, why would you even ask him? You know that.
Why are you shaking your head like that?
He probably assigned it.
Listen.
He probably called one person and made it happen.
I'm going to say what Don King once said to me when I asked him. He was complaining so much about boxers and stuff like that. I said, well, Don, you could just retire. You've made enough money. He said, you know something? From your lips to God's ears, I'm going to think about that. Which had me dying. That's what I'm saying. From your lips to God's ears, I'm going to think about that.
Let me just fill
Change that photo, y'all.
Let me fill the folks in. Plenty of first takes still to come. The amount of hot takes left on the show, it's a bit disturbing. We've got someone saying the Patriots are going to make the playoffs. We've got someone saying Trevor Lawrence has a shot at Rookie of the Year over Jamar Chase. And someone says the Knicks aren't a threat in the East. And that is where we are going to start. Don't look at me, Stephen A. Last night at MSG, the stars were out in full effect. Obviously, Spike Lee was there, Dustin Hoffman, Tracy Morgan, Iggy Azalea performing at halftime. Jay Will back here with us. And Jay, I'll start with you. Are the Knicks a threat in the East?
Can I pass the baton on this one? Because I feel like
Really?
he was on the court last night. He was with Spike Lee.
Yeah.
He was with all the peeps.
Yeah.
He was
We
Mr.
here.
Energy.
We here.
We here. We yell.
here.
So
We
I
here.
want him on his own
We
show
here.
about his own squad. Please take
I mean,
the floor.
I wanted to hear from you,
And
but
so,
it's okay.
Threat. What does threat mean? Like, are we talking about getting to the Eastern Conference Finals? Is that a threat? Is that what we mean?
For me, it's getting out of the first round, but I don't.
Okay. I just want to.
I don't know what Stephen A's standard is.
Well, first of all, let me be very clear. At the Garden last night, it was, let's not forget Iggy Azalea. She was there.
Yeah.
We want to say we liked seeing her. So we want to throw that out there.
God.
That's just the point. That's just the
my
point.
God.
I mean, that doesn't include everybody. I want to do Dustin Hoffman, Michael J. Fox.
But let me start off with Iggy, though.
God.
Let me start off
I'm
with
just
that.
saying, it was
If
good.
you want to hit me, Iggy, I'm here.
I didn't say that. But it was good seeing her. It was good seeing her. Very talented.
What's your favorite song?
Anyway, let me get back.
Talk about using your
What's your
platform.
favorite song?
I don't know. The point that I'm distracted. The point that I'm trying to make.
Oh my God.
Let's move on.
Oh my God.
Let's move on. Let's move on. I get distracted.
You know
Let's
what?
move on. Let's move on.
Hold on. You know what I am? I'm a glorified babysitter. Carrie.
Thank you so much. That's
That's
right.
okay.
Glorified babysitter. That's right. Here's the deal. New York Knicks. Did you see him? Did you see him, Jay? Let me test it, Jay.
Jay.
That's right.
Sad, Jay.
You can watch it, Jay.
So
but
sad.
did you watch it with the level of appreciation that you should have? You understand? Let me tell you something right now. I'm going to remind you, Jay. The Brooklyn Nets, well, my favorite. New York Knicks can't touch them. We know they're the superior team in New York. But, last year, they packed the house and, they won games and everybody was screaming in the Barclays Center. And that's what you saw. But the New York Knicks win a first-round game. And you see the streets of New York City packed and crowded and going crazy. It's just a different flavor, okay? When the New York Knicks are relevant, which they are. And let me tell you something right now.
I like that man-child that was Julius Randle and how he showed up last night, reminding everybody why he was the most improved player, playing like an all-NBA player. I like the fact that R.J. Barrett clearly has been working on his three-point shot. I like the fact that Mitchell Robinson, who was not playing in the playoffs last year, was injured. He's just 7'1" rim protector and rebounder. Okay, anchoring that defense. Let's not forget that. Okay, and by the way, did you see Fournier with that stroke? Did you see that, bro? This ain't Reggie Bullock now. And no disrespect to Reggie Bullock, who's standing still. You go shoot. This is Fournier. I mean, did you see the brother just launching threes, taking overtime? Did you see it? Did you see it? I'm just saying right now. Now, Kemba Walker, we all know he's better than what he played like last night because I ain't like those 2 turnovers because they should have ended it in regulation. All right. Well, all I'm saying to you is this. We know Brooklyn's superior. We know Milwaukee's superior. I'm saying I don't give a damn about everybody else's record. The New York Knicks have the potential to knock off anybody else in the Eastern Conference. Anybody else in the Eastern Conference.
So that means getting to the Eastern Conference semifinals.
That's right. And that's what I'm saying the New York Knicks are going to do. They're going to get to the semifinals. 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 We here. We here. Can you understand what I'm saying?
The Knicks are my version of your Dallas Cowboys. This is going to be great.
What?
Can I put something in your own language so you can understand?
Uh-oh.
You ready?
Go ahead.
The Pittsburgh Steelers have a better chance of winning the Super Bowl than the Knicks getting to the Eastern Conference semifinals.
So that means you're saying that the Steelers have a better chance of winning the Super Bowl than the Knicks have of winning a first-round series?
I don't have the Knicks getting to the Eastern Conference semifinals. The Eastern Conference is getting exponentially better.
So have the Knicks.
Really?
I think so.
I've heard some of the things you said about Evan Fournier when he was back playing with Boston. I don't know if you were quite as much of a believer in Evan Fournier.
Let me say
I can go. I wish I had the tape. You know, because I knew we were going to talk. I wish I had the tape.
That is more than fair. That's more than fair.
Drilled holes in Evan Fournier, but now he's part of the Knicks. Oh, did you see him last night?
That's right.
Do you see how much I love him?
I have an explanation.
I got real concerns about Kemba Walker in the knees. I don't know if it's going to hold up, boss. Oh, we got Kemba. He can play so much better. Now all of a sudden the knees are going to be fine. So all these things now all of a sudden come into. Now you're going to tell me that a team that overachieved. Let's be real about the Knicks, man. And I love the Knicks. I watch the Knicks. We all can settle on the fact that they overachieved last year, but now you're going to tell me that you're going to set them up for even more failure, Stephen A? When the Hawks have gotten better, the Washington Wizards have gotten better, the Bulls have gotten better, the Miami Heat have gotten better. I'm sorry if they get Victor Oladipo back, you're going to take the Knicks over the Heat? You're going to take them over the Heat and Jimmy Butler and PJ Tucker and Bam Alabama? Bam, I butchered his name. Out of the bio, as Kendrick Perkins would say. You're going to take him over all those teams?
Let me tell you
just
something.
Because of your love for the Knicks?
Hold on, wait a minute. You're supposed to be my brother.
I am your brother.
This is betrayal. I mean, you got, listen, let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something right now, okay? You got me on the Fournier thing. I'll say this. I liked it when he was in Orlando. What I said in Boston was that you got Jaylen Brown, you got Jason Tatum. This dude is a third option, ain't cutting it. Because he can't fit in. That's what I said now. Quote me accurately, and that's what I said. Now, in New York, that ain't necessarily the case.
Twist.
Hold on, that's not necessarily the case. Excuse me.
It's so hard for me to sit through this again. Second time discussing this today.
And by the way, I don't want Julius Randle to be sensitive. And this beautiful kid was at the court side last night. I love seeing. I mean, I love this kid. Oh, he's so adorable.
I love this kid too. Stop with the feel-good stories.
Here's the deal. Because it's a feel-good moment. Okay, let me tell you something right now.
I don't even know who you are
Julius
anymore.
Randle is not a number one option to me. I will tell you this. The brother can play, though, and I think he's big time. But what he has to do what he did last night. Fournier gets hot, feed him. You understand what I'm saying? This is what Julius Randle is supposed to be doing. Catch, shoot, catch, attack, catch, pass. One of the three. No dribbling one-on-one, trying to break people down. That's not your game. Don't do that. And let me tell you something right now. You see the combination. Don't think about Kemba Walker. It's the combination of Kemba Walker with Derrick Rose.
I love Derrick Rose.
I love him both.
With you.
And so when I'm thinking about that, the New York Knicks, am I going to sit up there? I can tell you right now 5 teams that should finish ahead of the New York Knicks.
Go ahead, tell me those
But I
5
think, well, it's going to be
Miami, Atlanta, Boston, Chicago.
Philly.
Boston.
I'm not sure about Chicago.
Indiana.
I'm not sure. No.
What?
Indiana? No.
I don't know. That's what Caesars thinks.
No. They ain't finishing ahead of the Knicks. Listen, I got to see DeRozan and Levine play together. I know I got no questions about them as an individual talent. I got to see them play together.
That's
All
it.
I'm saying to you, can the Knicks sneak?
You're swimming
and be
hard right
listen,
now.
Listen, can the Knicks sneak? I will remind you, we didn't see them being the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference last year. But they were.
I can remind you also that
could they be a top 5 seed this year? They could.
I think
They could.
if we're being realistic, I think they should be in between the 6 to 8 range.
Yeah.
Realistic.
But what I'm saying is,
Because last year they overachieved. There were so many injuries
So you
last year,
overachieved.
Stephen
So you
A.
overachieved last year, right?
Yes.
So okay, now you fall back down to earth a little bit. You get a 5th seed. What's wrong with that? New York Knicks improved too. And then listen, then you could win a first-round series. The New York Knicks.
swimming
You can't
or drowning?
You can't beat Milwaukee.
Drowning.
You can't beat Brooklyn.
Can you tread
but
water?
you can take anybody else. You can steal it.
What kind of suit are you wearing right now?
Well, this is just.
It looks nice.
It's just a time for a blazer.
Can we mark this down? Today is
October
October
21st.
21st.
A 5th seed, the
I would
Knicks.
like to bet you. I'll bet you one of your fitted, nice suits that you have on right now. I will bring in cash on First Take.
I don't need
and lay
cash.
it down
Your credit
here.
card works.
Credit works fine
Your credit
too.
works.
I can wire
Your
it,
credit-
whatever you want to do.
Your credit card works.
Okay? I
You know
will
what I'm
buy
saying?
you and I will get you fitted for another beautiful suit. And you can do the same for me because I don't see them going to the Eastern Conference semifinals. Do you have a deal? Are we going to shake on this? And we're going to mark this down. I hope that's
You're going to pay for that. You're going to pay for that.
Make
You're
some
going to
money.
pay for that,
I'm gonna take
okay?
the suit
I'm
and
telling you
gonna
that
sell it
right
for
now.
cash.
You keep sleeping on my Knicks all you
this.
want to. You keep sleeping. New York,
I'm not
stand
sleeping
up.
on them.
Listen.
I'm not sleeping on them. They're coming. They came a long way, SA.
You done guaranteed they coming out of the first
Okay.
round because these Knicks ain't gonna let me down. They're not gonna let me down.
Okay.
They gonna get out of the first round. You done started something.
I just want you to
You
know.
done started
I just want you to
something.
know.
You done started something.
With the level of intensity they play with, I just want to see it sustained now because typically
I feel you
teams
on
that
that.
play with that
I feel you.
become
How
somewhat
much is a
injury
Tom
prone
Ford
down the
suit?
stretch.
Well, it depends. It ranges from about $4,000 to $7,000.
Okay.
4 to 7.
Okay. So you could throw in a pair of nice designer female shoes.
Well, you know, I got some.
Are you on my side here? Wait, no. Molly never takes a side. Molly, are you on my side or
with
you on this side?
Not
Okay.
a five. Not
Ooh,
a
I
5
like
seed.
this. I
Five
like it.
seed?
Here's somebody that works for
we
you
talking about
every
getting out of
day.
the first round. I'm getting out of the first round. That's the bet.
Mom,
It ain't a time.
just
And
buy
everybody
this
see.
stock. This is good
Listen,
stock.
hold on.
That
hold
was
on.
tough. I thought it was
Move
the
out the way.
5th seed.
Move out the way.
going up.
Move out the way.
It's going
Move
up.
out the way. Yo, put the camera on me right now.
See,
right
he can
here.
do that.
Right
It's
now.
his
Right
show.
here.
That's why
right here.
I slid up
Yo,
like
Julius Randle.
Oh.
Yo, Kemba Walker. D. Rose, Mitchell Robinson, R.J. Barrett, Fournier, all of y'all, World Wide West, Tom Thibodeau, Scott Perry, Leon
Oh my
Rose. You hear these
God.
brothers? Look, we getting out the first round.
Oh
we
my
get New York Knicks are gonna win a first round series. Now they trying to come at us. We ain't worried about it. Let me tell you something right now. New York Knicks are coming. I'm just trying to tell
You
y'all
know
right
who you
now.
look
When
like,
the
Y'all keep
bottom
sleeping on
falls
them when y'all
out,
want
when
to.
the bottom
Excuse
falls
me.
out, I'm gonna be here to catch you.
Listen,
I'm gonna bring you a pacifier.
Julius
I'm gonna rock you. I'm gonna cradle you.
the
Okay, we
crew,
gotta go.
the New York Knicks crew,
All right.
they ain't let me down.
Okay.
They ain't let me
Okay,
down.
Excuse me. Have you been hanging out with Adam Gase? Because you are on one.
No.
today.
I ain't
Are you
looking
done
all
with
this
the single
stuff. I ain't
shot?
high.
Are you done with the
Listen,
single shot?
I'm just telling y'all right
League
now.
has some
New York, stand up.
ridiculously
Watch.
talented
They gonna
young
come through
guards
for me.
that showed ass last night.
They coming
Stephen A.
through.
and Monica McNutt get into the NBA action in just a bit. Plus, how about some football? Ravens-Bengals this weekend. What a game. Will Joe Burrow be able to match the level that Lamar has been playing? Stephen A. and whether he's coming around on Lamar. Dan Orlovsky will be back for that.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Y'all done started something.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
We
Go
getting
on
out
with
the
chip.
first.
I'm very interested to have this conversation with you, Dan. Do you think the Lamar criticism is fair?
No, it never has been. It hasn't been since he was leaving Louisville. I'm going to put the context of what he is doing, or at least do my best to put it into context. They are the #1 seed in the AFC while being the most shorthanded team in football. They have 17 guys on IR. 17. That leads the NFL. Recently, the second most, or the team that had the second most on IR were the Detroit Lions. They're 0-6. The Ravens are 5-1. Lamar Jackson leads the NFL in rushing and yards per carry, is on pace for 4,800 yards passing. If you look at the teams they've played, just again, context. Week 1, they...
Let's make sure we quote folks accurately. I'm not talking about you personally, but let's make sure we quote folks accurately and depict and contextualize what we say. No one watching football would question the greatness of Lamar Jackson. I never did that. I said that Lamar Jackson's phenomenal. I said that Lamar Jackson's box office. I even went so far to say is Josh Allen's got 6 years, $258 million. Shoot, Lamar Jackson deserves more. Because not only is he producing the way that Josh Allen has produced, but he's also box office. Whereas people want to go to football games to tailgate and socialize, get drunk, have a party type atmosphere before you actually go and watch the damn football game. You literally go to a stadium to see this brother perform.
Agree.
Because that's how electrifying Lamar Jackson is. We understand that. Where my critique, more so than criticism, a critique of him comes into play is that, okay, your real medal is established in the postseason. No matter how good or how great you are, we are going to look for what you do in the postseason to cement whatever legacy you may have. Now, he's got plenty of time to do it because he's in his fourth year, just his fourth year in the league. He's 24 years old, okay? And I get all of that. But I remember when Peyton Manning came out of Tennessee, clearly as the #1 overall pick, future Hall of Famer, people had ordained him the next dude. And you know, we all know this. And until he beat Tom Brady, we kept saying, he doesn't have a ring. There's no championship to show for it. Can he get past Tom Brady? Which was why it meant so much in that AFC championship game when Indianapolis beat New England. It wasn't just that they won. It was that they beat New England. And Peyton Manning led the comeback because they were in a deficit in a hole during that AFC championship game. And then ultimately he brought them back. They took the lead. Then Tom Brady got intercepted, and that ended that. And the Indianapolis coach went on to beat the Chicago Bears in the Super Bowl. Yeah. We got all of that, right?
Jackson, yep.
He had to do it. What I'm saying about Lamar Jackson is he's got to do it. And the reason why I point to him throwing the football is not because of what we see in the regular season. It's because of what we've seen in the postseason. The last time we saw him in the postseason, yes, he had beat 10. So as a result, they are literal roadblocks to the success and ascension that we hope for from Lamar Jackson. So all I'm saying is, look at that and tell me that I don't have a right to say, I need to see this come postseason. Because I know Patrick Mahomes is going to be waiting. And I suspect Josh Allen will be too. After all, last time we saw them, they were the two dudes in the AFC championship game. And by the way, both of them have victories over Lamar Jackson in the postseason, not vice versa. So let's remember that and then ask ourselves, is it really a criticism or is it a critique highlighting actual facts? I would tell you it's the latter.
Well, I would say in kind of pushback, the last time we saw Patrick and Lamar on the field, Lamar was the better player this year, regular season, and that's not part of your argument. I would also say that, you know, for Lamar to go to the playoffs with this team this year and to go knock off, say, a Kansas City in Buffalo is going to be one of the greatest accomplishments in the history of the NFL. If those teams stay as healthy as they are right now and the Ravens try to hang on with their health, it will be a mountain to climb that is almost unexpected. So I'm not saying that it's unfair that you say he's got to go into the playoffs and beat those guys, but it's also unfair to think that it's just a Lamar thing because of the way his roster, they have the most injured reserve players in the NFL, 7 starters.
Okay.
Ravens winning this?
I can agree with that.
Dan, Ravens winning this?
Winning this weekend?
Mm-hmm. Joe Burrow, Bengals?
Yes.
Joe Burrow, they're no joke, Cincinnati.
I don't care. They were not winning in Buffalo.
Are you Dan?
Cincinnati's good. I'm excited to see Jamar Chase versus Marlon Humphrey. This would be a good football game. But it's tough for me to go against Lamar right now.
Okay.
It's going to be tough, but I got the Ravens winning at home.
I agree.
All right. Still to come, gentlemen. Who's amazing? Excuse me, I'm on television. I don't have time to argue with you about the temperature, Stephen A. The 2-4 Patriots are looking to avoid their second straight 2-5 start after not having a losing record through 7 games since 2002. And they have a great chance to do so against the Jets on Sunday. New England has won 11 straight meetings against New York, the longest win streak for either team in the history of their rivalry. Look who joins us, someone that knows a thing or two about New England. I paused because I knew something was about to come.
Let me say.
Yeah.
Let me say something real quick. First of all, Stephen A is on one today. The Knicks get one win. Get one win to open up the season, and he want to act a damn fool today.
We here.
What is going?
We here.
What is going on?
We here.
What is going on?
We here, man. Look. Just because, listen. I told y'all first. And then, just so you know, I'm Molly. Just so you know, Molly, watch your mouth, Miss Yukon. Watch it. Watch
I just said we're here. I'm supporting
you and Dan, you and Dan, y'all won a game for the first time in a decade. Let's be quiet. Here's the deal, y'all.
We beat
Stephen,
Yale.
I checked out what Winston-Salem State's football record was this year and how them games going, so you could be quiet on that. We'll keep that between us. We keep that between us.
I love you, Dan. Get him.
Supposed to know that. He's not supposed to know that.
He's not supposed
to know that. All right. Let me get back. I'll deal with you later, Dan. Let me get back to Damien or something, all right? Look, man, Knicks first, New York always. That's my philosophy when it comes to basketball. Knicks first, New York always. So if the Knicks go down, I'm going to be rooting for Brooklyn, but only after the Knicks go down. And here's the bottom line. We here, bro. We here, okay? We here. You should appreciate that, Mr. Islander. You know, Damien's a hockey fan.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
When he's not playing the piano.
Excuse me,
when he's not playing the piano, trying to be Mozart.
Here?
All right, that's what he's trying to do.
I'm not picking up what you're putting down.
That's what he's doing.
Oh my
God. Let's go, man. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Like I'm holding things back.
I think you are, Molly. I think you are.
Dan. Patriots are currently in second place behind the Bills. Can they still make the playoffs?
Absolutely. This Patriots team is 3 snaps away from being 5-1. If you go back to week 1, they're going in for a game-winning score, and Damien Harris fumbles the football. They're going to win that game without it. And if we're going to, I've seen Stephen A's top 5 list. Stephen A's top 5 list, and I know 2 teams that are in there are the Dallas Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Patriots are 2 snaps away from beating both of those teams.
But they lost.
We're going to live in. But if we're going to live in a world where those are top 5 teams, then we got to live in a world where the Patriots are better than their 2. I'm not one that subscribes to the you are what your record are. We're too early in the season to believe in that. I think that they're 3 snaps away from being 5-1, 2 realistic snaps away from being a 4-2 football team. I think their defense is playing really good. They're giving up like 20, 21 points a game. They're challenging offenses. If their offense, led by Mac Jones, continues to get better, and really, D. Wood, you know this, focuses on playing better football in the red zone.
And I think whether it's the Jets or Miami, somebody at least steals one game from them. I got at least 4 more losses coming the Patriots' way. So you're talking about a best-case scenario in my mind with them at 9-8. And when I think about the rest of the AFC, I think about Buffalo. Right. I think about, obviously, the entire AFC North. I think about Tennessee in the South. I think about not just Kansas City, but the Raiders in the West. I don't see it. I really don't see it.
Well, listen, you know, Dan talks about a couple plays here and their record be different. Dan, they should have lost to the Houston Texans on the road in Houston. Davis Mills was outstanding going up against that Patriots defense, and that leads me to this. That Patriots defense, that side of the ball, which is supposed to be a strength, has not lived up to the billing for the Patriots this year. Okay, you got Mac Jones, a rookie, who, in my opinion, may be the one bright spot of the Patriots right now. Their offensive line is not playing well. They can't protect the quarterback. We saw that against the Dallas Cowboys. We've seen that against the New Orleans Saints. Their defense, the side of the ball that we thought Patriots need to open it up more for Mac Jones, because I think Mac Jones can handle that. I think Josh McDaniels has been doing an outstanding job with Mac Jones. But from what I'm seeing from the Patriots defense and their offensive line, I got serious questions about the Patriots right now.
What, do you think they can make the playoffs or not? That's the question.
Only because there's 7 teams in the postseason this year. I think that's the only reason I consider the Patriots having a shot to make it. Other than that, no.
All right, so let me touch the Cowboys game. And you know this, Bill does not care about yards. You can go up and down the field on him. He wants to play good red zone defense and make you kick field goals. So that kind of was the philosophy of the game against Dallas. You're not going to stop Dallas. They tried to play situational football in the red zone really good. They did. Dallas is a very good football team. The Houston game was 14-0 like that because, you know, on a 3rd and 2, there was a jump ball touchdown by Davis Mills and a flea flicker touchdown. That defense played really good the last 3 quarters of that football game. So I don't think that the Houston game game was as close after those kind of two situational plays than the score led it on to be. I think if that Josh McDaniels is really starting to figure out what this offense is under Mac Jones, and if Mac Jones really played one bad game this year against the New Orleans Saints. If Mac Jones continues to play better, I agree with the offensive line. They got to get healthy. If they get a little bit healthier, I also think they're starting to use their tight ends the way that we expected them to. This is a team, again, week 9, week 10, week 11. That is the stretch. They go 2 for 3. They are going to get in the playoffs in New England.
I can't say it like I said. I think I agree with Damian. If you're talking about a 7th team, that's the only reason they have a shot. They're certainly nowhere near one of the top 6 teams in the AFC. And I just look at them right now and some of the struggles that they've had. I understand that they've played competitive football, but there have been too many moments at times where they've showed some of their youth having a rookie at the quarterback position, being bereft of elite talent at the wideout spot. I'm just looking at them from the standpoint that offensively, I just don't have that level of belief in them when I scour the AFC conference right now. I'm just looking at them right now. I got Tennessee. I got Buffalo. I'm looking at Baltimore, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and Cleveland. Okay, I'm just looking at all of that, and I'm looking at the Chargers and the Raiders.
So
I'm just looking at all of them.
You're taking Cincinnati and the Pittsburgh Steelers over the Patriots?
I'm saying to you that based on what I'm seeing, yes. Based on what I'm seeing, yes.
Okay.
Nope.
Forget the Jets this weekend. The real litmus test is going to be October 31st. That's when the Chargers head to Foxborough.
I just say we eliminate one of them. I gave you 8 teams.
Damian, great to see you, sir. Go Islanders. Coming up on First Take, an absolute thriller. I feel you looking at me at the Mecca last night. Are they the most dangerous threat to Nets and the Bucks in the East this season? That is next. Keep it locked. There she is, Monica McNutt.
So y'all just brought in the big weapons to try to take me down, right? That's what that is.
What's up, Stephen A?
You know, what's going on, you?
She's a New York fan too.
I am.
Yeah, she's not going to be an enemy.
We got to talk about it though, honestly.
I'm going to find out about that.
We are. We will.
See what I'm saying?
NBA quick take, Stephen A. Let's go. LaMelo Ball went off. 31 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists in a comeback win versus the Pacers. What is the ceiling for LaMelo Ball?
The ceiling is the roof. I'm only playing Michael Jordan. I'm only playing. Bottom line is LaMelo Ball is a special, special talent, and his confidence is gaining. This dude could end up being one of the best point guards in the game.
By the way, what did you think of this, Fashion Police? LaMelo's suit matching his Lambo.
Let me tell you something right now. Everything is fly until you get down to his shoes. If you're going to do it right from head to toe. The car is slamming, no doubt about it. The jacket is big time. The outfit, the color to match with that. I understand you got on a black shirt. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. But you got to step up your shoe game when you rocking like that. That's all I'm saying.
Stephen A., this is a generational gap. I feel it. What you want him to have on?
Excuse me.
What kind of shoes?
An abundance of ideas.
I know, but that's in right now. I don't know what they are. I know they cost a lot of money.
Not doofy looking sneakers.
No, I'm telling you, that's what the young folks are wearing.
No, Monica, no.
Okay, all right,
no,
I'm telling you.
No,
Okay,
I need better than that when you rocking that car with that outfit.
You know I want to comment, but it's quick takes. I can't. Stephen A., John Morant scored 37 points last night in the win against the Cavs. What are your expectations for John year 3?
I think that they could potentially get out of the first round. I believe in this kid. He is a star. I'm disgusted, and I could be wrong, but I'm disgusted when I looked in the audience and I didn't see the seats in Memphis filled to capacity. He deserves better than that. That city of Memphis, Tennessee, you have a star that's worth coming to the game and walking through the turnstiles for. Support that brother and that team.
How about we can actually go to games again? Exciting. Zach LaVine led the New Look Bulls in a dub last night, scoring 34. Stephen A., are these Bulls different than last year's Bulls?
They are different because him and DeMar DeRozan with obviously Lonzo Ball, and Vucevic, they got a good team, and I get all of that. I just look at Zach LaVine, and I think that he is a star. He's a Skywalker, and I just wish so desperately he was a New York Knick, but he's not.
And that voice you heard is the great Monica McNutt. Great to have you with us. And now I am coming to you here. Stephen A's Knicks getting it done in double overtime. They're beating the Celtics. Tell me this, who do you think is going to make more noise in the East? The Knicks, the Bulls, or the C's?
Molly, before I answer this, I want Stephen A. to understand that this answer does not mean that the other teams cannot have success. But in terms of more noise, and you know I'm a part of the pre- and post-game show with the Knicks, so I'm watching this team closely. More noise, expectations, exceeding expectations. I got to go with the Chicago Bulls. I know. Did you hear my preface, though?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Listen,
Go ahead.
there is the Knicks are in a beautiful position. I think that they are building on what we saw from last year, but when you look at the addition of Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier, the core has shifted just a bit, and those are two guys who do not necessarily hang their hat on the defensive end of the ball, which was their calling card last year as they looked to build upon last year's success. When I look at the Chicago team, for some reason, I feel that DeMar DeRozan does not get the credit that he still deserves. I mean, we're talking about a guy that's a four-time All-Star, two-time NBA guy, 20 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds, or something around those, around that range in terms of rebounds and assists. Very productive. You add Vucevic, who I love some three-point shooting, a guy that has shot 38% or better in the last 3 seasons, including notching over 40% from behind the arc. Zach LaVine continues to take the next step, and I just think the addition of Lonzo Ball as a distributor and facilitator, someone who lavishes in the role of getting everybody else going, but it still has to be respected as an offensive player in his own right. And I kind of think this is a little bit of a renaissance-ish for Billy Donovan when we think of the early success that he had with the Oklahoma City Thunder. I just think that that's the team that we're going to in the WNBA.
Well, they ain't going to pull that off.
Of course not.
Because Candace Parker, major props to you, my sister. Congratulations with your great self. Okay, and Quigley is no joke either. I can't forget about that. I really loved watching that game for that. It was really fun. I got to watch my tone because I know who I'm talking to, Molly. Let me tell you something about Miss Monica. Listen, let me tell you something about Monica, right? This girl knows what she's talking about.
Of course.
And she does a phenomenal job pregame, postgame. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, my friend.
Keep up the great work. We're going to disagree here.
Okay.
Let me tell you something right now, okay? You got to take depth into consideration. We ain't going to throw any shade on DeMar DeRozan. Here's the knock against DeMar DeRozan. 2 things. Number 1, he's not a great three-point shooter.
This is true.
And number 2, he wasn't Kawhi Leonard. If you really think about it, that's the only thing to say about DeMar DeRozan. When he was in Toronto, they were winning 58, 59 games a year. He was their off-guard playing alongside Kyle Lowry. He's a model citizen. He's a great player. He can put up buckets. He averaged better than 20 a game while he was there. The brother was an all-star. He's an impressive brother who deserves far more respect than we give him. No problem there.
Okay.
And I love me some Zach LaVine. I'm a huge Zach LaVine fan. Lonzo needs to be more assertive and aggressive, and I think his brother being in the NBA, showing out the way that he does, has forced Lonzo to become a bit more aggressive, and I've noticed that. Okay? I got 2 issues with Chicago.
Talk to me.
DeRozan and LaVine, can they play together? Because individually, they're big time. My issue is they're the same. And so when I look at them and I say, okay, can they do it? Neither is really a 3, even though you could play small ball in the NBA now, but neither is really a 3. They're both legitimately 2s. And although their game is somewhat different at the same time, can they play together? I need to see it to believe it.
Okay.
Number 2.
I'm listening.
Where's the depth? You going to give me Alex Caruso? Is that what you're going to give me? Nope. They ain't going to cut it.
Okay.
They ain't going to cut it. When we look at the Chicago Bulls, we're thinking about DeRozan, LaVine, Vucevic, and Lonzo Ball. That's what we're looking at. Everything else is a question mark. Are they going to make the playoffs? I believe so. Are they going home in the first round? You're damn right they are. They ain't going to meet the Knicks because neither of them are going to be a top 4 seed, so they'll be playing somebody else, and the Bulls are going to go home early, okay? But we're going to give them their respect because LaVine and DeMar DeRozan can ball, and Vucevic can ball, and Lonzo Ball can ball. I know this. All I'm saying to you is when I look at them, and I think about an 82-game season, and I think about the monsters in the Eastern Conference, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Miami, can't ignore Atlanta and Philly, and of course the Knicks, and you look at Thibodeau, and how he has these guys playing defensively. New York Knicks, number 1 defense in the NBA. Against the field, against three-point shooting. Number 1, okay? Number 1 in points allowed. And they coming back. They ain't going to slide, Monica. They going to slide. I'm just telling you right now, it's the Knicks.
Listen.
It's the Knicks.
Listen, I am watching the Knicks closely. I expect a season in which they build upon last year. However, you talking about them defensive numbers? Oh, baby, get ready for the slide. Now, where you will see some improvement is their ability to score the basketball. what's that child? Evan Fournier is pure.
Wasn't
Three
it
threes.
beautiful?
Oh my God.
Did you see him? Did you see him?
However,
it was so special.
However,
it was nice.
However, and this is a tough cover for anybody in the league, so no disrespect to Evan Fournier. However, lit up by Jaylen Brown, and prior to, I believe, second quarter. Listen to me. Second quarter, back-to-back steals. Did come up with a big-time play, second overtime, came up with a big-time play. However, if the identity of this squad was to hang their hat on defense, do I think R.J. Barrett will take the next step defensively? Yes. But for as much time as Fournier is going to stay on the floor, he's going to have to lock up on somebody.
Didn't I tell you? You see how she talks? You just see it? You see it, Molly? You see? She's so forceful.
Nice. You know what I love about you, honestly, I want to say is we've only met a couple times. Great analysis, but you have such great energy.
Thank you.
You really do.
Thanks, Molly.
She really does.
Thanks, Molly.
And even how she handed it to you, she did it so nicely.
First of all.
I need to go to break.
No, we're not going to.
You hear
I
Sam
know
Tanucci.
Monica is fantastic. You didn't have to add that before I gave my take. Okay, I know this. All right,
Monica, come back soon.
Absolutely. Thank you, Molly. Thank
All
you.
I'm going to say to you
What's
is
up?
this. I get where you're coming from, but how dare you bring up Jaylen Brown? He'll do that to anybody.
I said it's a tough cover.
All right then. Everybody ain't Jaylen Brown?
Okay.
Everybody ain't Jaylen Brown?
What about the play that sent the game into overtime?
I know that. I didn't like that.
Okay,
All right.
the
We won't go
segment
there.
ended like 3 minutes
We're done.
ago.
Sorry.
Up ahead on first take, Jaguars
she's coming back.
quarterback
She's
Trevor
coming back another
Lawrence
day. This is
seems
ridiculous.
to be turning a corner. Is that turn sharp enough to win him Rookie of the Year? Stephen A's answer in a bit plus. Trevor's one-time former teammate, Mr. Tim Tebow, back again tomorrow. Will it be friendly between he and Stephen A, or will things remain contentious? Only time will tell. Tebow time, that is, not Stephen A time.